Hey, internet. I am going to apologize ahead of time and say that I am sorry if I look like a mess. I had a plan for this week's video and it wasn't going to be this. I really didn't plan on filming today. I have the footage and all for the next video, but I guess that'll go up either next week or the week after. I have a lot of really awesome filming plans that I hope to get done within the next couple weeks. I finished school finally, and well, not forever. I'll be back in the fall. I hope to get a lot done this summer. I'm going to be probably vlogging a lot this summer because I have a lot of fun stuff that I hope that'll be really interesting to watch. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But I decided to make a very chatty video today. When I first started this channel, I wanted it to sort of be a weird collage of things, and it's really what it's turning out to be, so I'm kind of happy about that. But I'm going to do something a little bit different today. It's not going to be me being funny or talking about some weird anecdote about me this week for once. It is going to be a little bit more personal than that, I think, but it's going to be me being very chatty. So if you're not a chatty person, I apologize, but I'm going to be talking about dreaming today. I'm a writer, okay? So, you know, I do a fair amount of dreaming. To be able to come up with ideas to write and to talk about stuff and to imagine worlds that don't exist, to make up enough detail to make it seem like a real place, it takes a fair amount of dreaming. I'm a self-admitted realist, I think. I see the world in a very existential way, so I don't really think in a dreamy kind of way. I don't know if that makes any sense. Or I don't sit around daydreaming. But here recently, you know, I say this in a joking way a lot, but it's kind of really true. I don't have much of a life, honestly. And so when I have a lot of free time, I tend to just start dreaming about stuff. And so, you know, that can be a good thing. You know, it sort of gets your mind thinking about things, and you can actually learn a lot of lessons from dreaming because you can see things and think about things in ways you've never thought about them before. And, you know, dreaming can be a really fun and interesting thing. But as is my experience lately, it can also kind of get you in trouble. The mind and the heart is a very serious thing, and I think once your heart sets itself on something, it's really hard to get it away from it. Maybe this is a little bit of an anecdote, but more than once recently I've been dreaming about something, and not just dreaming like, oh, going to sleep and waking up and being like, oh, that'd be so much fun, and not even dreaming like, oh, wouldn't that be great, I have such a celebrity crush on this person, maybe I'll run into them in some fateful meeting someday. No, I mean dreaming like, here's a plan in how this is how I'm gonna do it. That kind of dreaming can be good, like I said, not only for those reasons, but also the fact that it really teaches you where you need to go. But it's also really dangerous, because once I set my heart on this, like I said, it's really hard to change your mind. And I can think of two different examples on this, and one was sort of out of my control, but the other was something I really could have done, and I regret it now. I don't mind sharing the first one, but the second one's a little bit too personal. The thing that was out of my hands, well, it's out of my hands and I don't dwell on it, so I'll just kind of leave that be. But the thing that I really can control is the fact that I really want to travel abroad someday. I am in love with the idea of England, and I'm not one of those hipster girls that are just like, ooh, England, British people, and all this, and like, that's, you know, that's nice, you know, their food and their shopping and the culture is fantastic, but the history of the place and everything that surrounds it, it's just, it feels like me, and I think that, you know, obviously I haven't been there, but I think that if I would love it so much, and I really hope to go there someday, and I think that studying would be the best opportunity for that, and so I've really had my heart set on doing that. And I'm not like a fantastic student, but I'm pretty studious, at least I like to think so. And so, I know I was so sure that I could get myself into a program and be able to study abroad. But there are some things in my personal life that wouldn't really allow me to be there. We don't know anybody, we don't know anything about the culture, I guess, really. I mean, you know what the internet tells you, but that's not always accurate. And what the internet says, like it's a magical place. The people on the internet. I know some people from England, and from what I've heard, it seems like a place that I'd like to be, but you never really know until you go. Anyway, I really set myself up for this. it was a dream that I've had really forever. I've always really loved England, and I think it's a fantastic idea, and it's just a beautiful place. And I really want to be there. In my heart, it was really set on it. But, you know, financial reasons is another one of those things that's really kind of got in the way of me wanting to get my dream. And I think, and I still do, that it's really kind of unfair that people can't achieve their dreams solely because of money. I think the idea that I won't be able to go where I want to go and where my heart is set because of money, I feel like that's really unfair. I know I'm a teenager and I think that a lot of things are unfair, but the fact that I can't gain education and achieve my dreams maybe in a more mystical place than where I already am, I don't know, there feels like there's something wrong about that. I feel like a lot of opportunities are going to be lost solely because of money. And I know that a lot of other people have this far worse than I do, and I hope it doesn't come across as me complaining. But words can't describe how disappointed I was. And this isn't a charity case. Just saying, it's not, I promise. But I think that I kind of learned the hard way that dreaming was a little dangerous, because I can't set myself up for something that I know will never happen. And at the time, I was so convinced. I literally made lists of things I was going to do, and people that I wanted to meet, and, you know, shops I wanted to shop in, and just, I have a weather app, and I had London listed as one of the places, and also in the clock, the times, and I'm like, well, it's an 8-hour difference from where I am, so I'll have to, you know, plan ahead for that. And I was really so into it. And my parents haven't told me no, it's not going to happen, but at this point it's pretty much no. And I don't know, I just feel like dreaming really got me caught up into a life that I knew I'd never have. And I am a lot of a dreamer because of the fact that I don't have much of a life right now, at least in the point that I am in my life. I've become very content with that fact, you know. I used to be really bitter about it, but I've kind of got over that because, you know, I have so many outlets. You know, I'm talking to a camera right now, and that's something I never did until the start of this year. I don't have much of an audience right now, but it's okay, because it's not what I started it for. I started it so I could talk out what I'm thinking and things I find entertaining, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, even if no one's listening. Anyway, back to the point. The other thing that made me think about wishing was, like I said, I'm not going to touch on it too much, but being very vague, it was the more emotional side of things. It wasn't, this is what I want to do with my life someday. It was like, this is who I want to be with someday in my life. And I think any girl, and maybe even boys, I don't speak boy, needless to say, so I don't really know what boys think about this, but I know girls, we really like to see ourselves with people, and we like to do shipping if we're on the internet. And I try to stay away from shipping in real life, because that can be really kind of weird, but I really put myself together with this one person, and I really felt like we were a good match. But then I came across the fact that this person doesn't know I exist. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They don't know me, and I don't think they care. So it's one of those instances where I feel like if you got the chance to know them, I think that you could be something. But I sort of missed that window, I think. And I felt really disappointed about that. I was really, you know, this was something that I really intricately was into doing. It was so embarrassing how far I went into thinking that I would be with this person someday, but, you know, once I realized that it's not going to happen, I was afraid that I was going to break down and just have the worst day of my life, but once I sort of realized that it wouldn't happen, I wasn't too worried about it, because, you know, I think I'm at this point in my life where I'm deciding that I'm going to be who I am, and nothing should be there to tell me that I shouldn't be who I am. You know, without going into a big, long spiel, I sort of lived a lot of my life in the past being somebody that I wasn't, because I thought people would like me. And I made a promise to myself this year that this year would be the year that I be myself. And I don't really want to be one of those people that's like, well, forget what everybody else says about me, because, I don't know, I think that's a really sad way to live life, but I really don't want to be concerned about what they think. And I certainly shouldn't change because of what they think. But I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of getting off topic, but Dreaming really it can be a dangerous thing, and it can really set you up for a bunch of losses, but at the same time, I think it really helps you learn something about yourself. Like I said earlier, me realizing that I may not actually have the opportunity to do schooling abroad because of money, if I work really hard, I might be able to do it. I might be able to earn money if I get a job by working, obviously. I may be able to get a lot of scholarships if I work really hard at my school, even more than I already am. I mean, because of me dreaming, it's made me realize that that's really what I want to do. Not only has it allowed me to see what I find important in life, it's also helped me to realize that this is the place that I need to go. This is the thing that I need to do to get to where I want to go. In some ways, dreaming is dangerous, and it can really get you into some deep, dark corners, but I think when you take a breath and you realize that, hey, this may or may not happen, and you don't set yourself up for disappointment like I did, dreaming is a good thing. And I think that a fair amount of it, certainly, don't get too involved in it, because like I said, I learned that mistake the hard way. Setting yourself up for it and dreaming about things can really lift your spirits. And that's what I challenge whoever's watching this. Make your week a good week. As long as it's somewhat attainable, let your mind run wild. I'll see you guys next week. Go away, family members.